with me 1 second. Israel. Make sure this is up and running. Yeah, we up. All right. Shalom, Israel. It's the Isupk Chicago Wednesday biblical law class. You understand? So what we're going to be going into is things pertaining to the law, if it's righteous, if it's wrong, things of that sort. If anyone has a question, now will be the time when it comes to the law. Anyone in the classroom?
I'm new. I don't want to assume anything about the law, so you just hate to say start from the beginning. I know that's kind of basic, but just like a young man like myself, where should I begin learning the law?
The law. So,
what kind?
Of course, mainly the first 5 books of Moses are the books that pertain more to the law. In particular, of course, Leviticus. Right. So when it comes down, because there's a lot of laws, such as commandments. You go to the Christian church, they tell you it's only 10. They tell you that it's 10 commandments. Well, that's a farce. You understand? There are 600 plus more commandments than just 10.
Right.
You understand? So altogether, there's 613 laws, statutes, and commandments according to the Bible. You understand? Majority of them are very common sense, and a lot of them have what comes down to when it comes to farming. If you own land and crops and acres and stuff like that, and cattle and whatnot, a lot of the law, such commandments, or maybe the majority of the law in itself, pertains to farming, right? Because as a people, we're shepherds, we're farming people.
Right.
You understand? But of course, living in America and Africa and all these other countries and continents of stuff of that sort, now people are more farmers if they're white people. White people farm more than us now because of course Israel, we're all homebodies.
Right.
We're people that want to be in the crib and do nothing now because technology has made us lazy.
Right.
You understand? Working a 9 to 5 has taken our time.
Kind of.
So of course we don't farm as much as we do because farming used to be the way that you require or how you make money.
Right.
How you keep your lights and your stuff and everything flourishing. Flourishing. You understand? That's really what we used to do when it came to making money. You'd sell crops, you'd sell cattle, you breed cattle, you do all these different types of things and embargo with everybody else, and that's how you make your living.
Right.
But of course, in 2019, America and so forth, it's all about the paper dollar.
Yeah.
You understand? Which black people don't own nothing anymore, especially land that you can cultivate and make into crops and so forth. We don't get that no more. So a lot of the law right now doesn't pertain to us because we aren't farmers no more, right? So really, the rest of the law, it's more of what I'd say common sense. What your morals should be. Like, I know you don't smoke, but nowadays, smoking seems like it's just what people just do. And now it's just a fad. It's really not. People think they smoke cigarettes for stress. No, you smoke cigarettes just to look cool.
It's addiction. I'm gonna have a confession. I stopped smoking when I joined the UPK and put on my all black.
Most high, that's give him a head. I ain't put in front. He put. Yeah, I was more straight than I had when I heard about the truth. I heard about the truth, and it took me 3 months to get off that smoking stuff. You understand? To each his own.
I'm still, you know what I mean?
It's people struggle with it.
Yeah.
A demon's a demon. Each person has their own strengths and weaknesses, and of course, it's not a crime to be weak, but it's a crime to stay weak.
Right.
Yeah, that's where the crime lies. So, when it comes down to smoking, that's not no big deal. You understand? People think it's cool, but of course, it's against the law. Why? Because it's bad for your lungs.
Right.
It's bad for your body in all reality. Doesn't matter what you smoke, weed, marijuana, crack. It's all bad.
Right.
Shaving your beard, it seems like it shouldn't be one, but it is.
Right.
Because if you do shave, you look like a female. So is there any specific thing? Because I know going through all those laws, that's just a lot of.
Well, I know I know a lot of the dietary law, not all of them. I know no shrimp, crab, lobster, pork, alligator, duck, no fish without scales or fins
Right.
with scales. I know, of course, homosexuality is a sin that's completely against the law. Sleeping with another nation's women
Right.
or our women with their men is against the law.
Right.
I think that's about all I can really.
Lying, stealing, killing,
cheating,
murder,
yeah.
stuff like that. The basis. Go
And
ahead.
the foods he named, I was wondering, do you know about rabbit and tuna? Those are unlawful.
You know, I thought tuna was lawful because I used to eat a lot of tuna, especially when I worked out. And I actually saw Captain Tazaryak and Captain Katazar go in. They say tuna had micro scales, but that this tuna's unlawful.
Mm.
And rabbit, I grew up in Mississippi, but I never acquired the taste for rabbit. It tastes kind of like they say gamey.
Wow,
I don't like that.
Right.
I don't like that taste.
Right.
So.
That's good.
Okay. So there's nothing in particular you might have a question about
No.
to sum it all up.
Lies.
Okay, because mainly, for everyone online, I understand y'all got all these questions and whatnot. But this class in itself is the law class. Of course, it's I'll break down scriptures, but they need to be pertaining to the law and what's right or what's wrong. Scripture breakdown classes on Tuesdays. I know tomorrow, Thursday, if you sign into Jeremiah Hyman's scripture breakdown class at 7 to 9 Eastern time, that would be the time to ask your questions that don't pertain to the law. I'm just going to stick to what I know, which is Wednesday's classes, which is the law, of course. So I'm sorry for anyone's inconveniences on that. I see the questions online. The loop, let me see what that is, because that could have something pertaining to the law, but let me check.
So you on YouTube?
Yeah.
Where we at? I'm trying to see.
Type in Isupk
I did that.
Chicago. Click
Think it's
on live. That's what we're going on. Let's see what this person's asking and see if it pertains to anything along those lines. 25. 26. Okay. God. If you could just ask that question tomorrow during Jeremiah Hyman's scripture breakdown class, of course, because this one in particular doesn't talk about the law. Angel Rogers. Good evening. Is it true that there was life on earth before Adam and Eve? To sum it up for you, sis, Angel Rogers. Yes, there was life on earth before Adam and Eve. You understand? About 2 weeks ago, if you go look up Cross the Line Radio, Captain Tazaryak and Captain Katazar, they went into a full body breakdown on the creation story on Adam and Eve and time before then. So if you go to look about 2 weeks ago for Cross the Line Radio, you'll find it on the Harlem account, I believe, or CTL radio account. You'll get the whole breakdown, all the scriptures and all the information you would need on that. So there we go. So make sure you do that. So this next question: are threesomes unlawful with a wife and concubine? Yes. You understand? Give me my homosexuality scriptures. Homosexuality. For humble servant of Yahushua, yes, threesomes are unlawful. And I can tell you why. Of course, regardless if she's a wife or a concubine, those are technically both your wives. You understand? Because, of course, you go into the scriptures, you find out that sex itself is marriage. Of course, we know that there's a difference between a concubine and a wife, but at the end of the day, they're both your ribs, in quote, wives. But having threesomes with them does hit the mark of homosexuality. You understand? And I'll break it down as well. So give me what Leviticus 18 and 20?
Leviticus 8.
18 and 20, if I'm not mistaken. Let me get there real quick myself. No, 18 and 13, my bad. Nope. 18. thought it was 18 and 20. Hold on, let me read it a little bit more. There we go. 22. My bad. I knew it was within that chapter. You understand? So let's get it in. Let's get it. Whoever's got it, read.
Okay, sir. Leviticus chapter 18, verse 22. Thou shalt not lie with mankind
Go ahead.
as with womankind.
Right.
It is an
You
abomination.
understand? Of course, thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination. So let me ask you this. Of course, this is talking about a man sleeping with another man, but it's the same thing as well. You understand? Grab me Leviticus 20 and 13. You understand? So a man and a woman, that's all it should be. Just one man, one woman.
Right.
You understand? So let me break it down a little bit more. Because if you're a man and you're having intercourse with two women at the same time, guess what those two women are doing?
Them two women are committing an abomination.
They're committing an abomination. How so? Because these two women are seeing each other's nakedness.
Right.
You understand? A woman should not see another woman naked. A man should not see another man naked. I don't care what the situation is.
Right.
You understand? Well, that's when you go all the way back to the story with Noah and his sons. You understand? Ham saw this nakedness of his father Noah.
Right.
You understand? When he was drunk and passed out in that tent, right? And then of course he did not tell his brothers what was going on in that tent, but they went into that tent making sure that their eyes did not see. You understand? Because why? Because they knew being a man and seeing the nakedness of another man was an abomination.
Right.
Why? Because they were taught the law, statutes, commandments by Noah, their father.
Right.
Right. So the same thing applies for women. A woman sleeping with another man while another woman's in the same bed, that's homosexuality in itself. It means the fact that you can even get off or aroused by two women kissing each other and being on you at the same time. Of course, it seems like it should be right because we live in America in 2019, where having a whole bunch of women on your hip and all that's cool. It makes you look like you're a player and whatnot. But at the end of the day, if you're in the bed with them and they're both naked, or even the fact is, if one's naked and the other one's watching, it's the same thing. That's basically pornography.
Right.
You understand? Porn is a sin in itself. Why? Because you're watching a woman you're making a daughter of the woman is a whore, or you're watching another man's rod.
Right.
You understand? It's all sin.
Right.
Sex is the act of sex is a very holy thing. You understand? I mean, it's a separate thing. That's between the wife and the husband. Period.
Right.
You understand? You read what I got.
Come on, sir. What that was Leviticus.
Give me 20 and 13.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 13. If a man also lieth with mankind as he lieth with a woman,
Right.
both of them have committed an abomination.
And if a man lies with a man, the same way a man would lie with a woman, both of them committed an abomination. Of course, it's not what your question is, but it's going to keep going. Go ahead.
They shall surely be put to death.
They shall what?
They shall surely be put to death.
They shall be surely put to death. Any homosexuality type of acts will be put to death. You understand? Of course, it says mankind, womankind, but it's just saying the people as a whole. You understand? If a woman does the same thing with womankind as she would do with mankind, it's the same thing.
Right.
And a threesome is this. You understand? A threesome means, of course, majority of the time, a threesome, he's watching her make out with each other. You understand? And one of them's doing this, the other one's doing that, and it's like a train.
Right.
It's like a human centipede, but with sex involved.
Right.
Right there, it's just not the spirit of righteousness. You understand? You're really just low-key a homosexual. You understand? I'm gonna be blunt. I'm sorry. I'm really not here to spare your feelings. So at the end of the day, if you think a woman and a woman kissing is attractive, you're homosexual. You understand? If you think a woman and a woman is attractive for them both to be naked on top of you in the bed, you're a homosexual. You understand? Anything if that you support wickedness. You understand? So at the end of the day, don't do threesomes.
Right.
Go ahead.
It's like, if I could, sir, it's funny you said that because as a younger man than the age I am now. What I'm saying when I say young man, as a young man, very first time I saw two women making out was at a party. We were all drunk. We all been smoking and drinking and partying through the night, and one chick was really, really hot. The other one was okay. She was nice, but she came over to the super hot chick, grabbed her by her head real aggressive, pulled her head back, and just threw her tongue down her throat and started making out. All the other dudes in there start going crazy, and I'm sitting there, in myself, I'm like, this should be hotter than me. Like, it didn't turn me on. I didn't get excited. I was actually looking at them like, the fuck is, excuse my language, what is y'all doing? You know what I mean? It was kind of like an ill moment for me. Like, you know, you think as a young man, you would get all up in arms. To me, every other dude in there, because people expect men to go crazy over that, and she did that for that attention, they all hooped and hollered and jumped up and got close, and I'm sitting there looking like, blah. You know what I mean? It wasn't, I think it's in our nature that's not, like, we've been programmed to respond a certain way to that. But naturally, like I said, that was my first time seeing that in person. And my natural reaction was like, why don't y'all cut that shit out? You know what I'm saying? That's my natural reaction as a man.
Yeah, you just broke it down to, you brought it back to when I was like 16 years old. You know?
Right.
That's the very first time I saw it when I was in the world, as it was at a party as well. Two women doing all that for the attention, of course, because of course they got peer pressure or whatever like that, but they wanted the attention. It's really not as exciting as the media tries to make it seem.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because at the end of the day, that's a waste of a woman. You understand? Those two women doing that with each other and they being in a relationship or whatever, if you could, grab that. I believe that's our packages right there. You understand? At the end of the day, that's a waste of a woman. A woman and a man, that's what it's supposed to be.
Right.
That's how you bring forth life. Anything more than a man and a woman is a waste of time. It's a waste of space and everything like that.
That's right.
Yeah, the
package that you guys didn't want?
Yeah, we want those. But did we get them? What are you asking?
Sorry, what do you want?
What's your question?
I delivered a package here earlier and someone from here called and said they didn't want it.
He said he delivered a package earlier, and someone called them and told them they didn't want it.
What was the package?
It was a Hello Fresh box. It's one of those boxes with like groceries in it.
Yeah, if you could have grab that. I don't think that's ours.
Thank you.
It's not ours. It's in the office right over there. If you could, all right. No sweat. So there's a man and a woman and if a woman can get attracted looking at another woman, that's a mental disease, right? If a man can look at two women being together as attractive, that's a mental disease.
Right.
That's confusion. If you go back before like the 1980s and beforehand, if homosexuality was a mental disease,
Right.
that was literally marked in the books as a mental disease. We might want to close that box before you give it to them. You understand? That was a mental disease. And now in 2019, they switched the fact as of now, if you think it's wrong, it's wrong.
So,
Right.
just so you know, when I bring this back to the building, it's just gonna get thrown away. So,
Well, then we might as well
I was
keep
just
it.
saying, like, you guys might as well have just kept it. You could just do whatever you want with it. I mean,
Oh, well.
do you want it?
I don't know what it is really.
Yeah, they're gonna throw it away. So I try to tell the people, why do you want me to take it? So you guys want it?
Yeah, we'll take it.
All
All right, thank you.
Take it easy.
All right, then.
Right.
I'm just wasting my time. You just leave it back there, Rum, and just get back to this. We'll see what's in there in a minute. You understand? So, that's the whole thing with threesomes and all that. If you're a man and you have more than one wife, don't have them in the same bedroom at a time. You understand? Of course, it seems like it would be fun and it's exhilarating, and it might just might be.
Right.
You understand? I could not tell you. But at the end of the day, that's your fleshly desires taking over.
Right.
You understand? We gotta be stronger than our flesh. Our flesh wants a whole bed of women at the same time. That's what our flesh wants.
Right.
Being a woman, her flesh wants a whole battalion of sausage.
Right.
She wants that. As that's your flesh speaking though.
Right.
But when you go to your spirit, deep down in your mind, you know that it's not the right thing to do.
Right. Right.
You understand? It's called the conscience. That's why this flesh lusteth after the spirit, and the spirit lusteth after the flesh. I mean, they can't go hand in hand together.
Right.
They're complete opposites, like Jacob and Esau.
Right.
You understand? So, no more threesomes if you ever have them. If you think it's okay, find the scripture and find. Of course, they're your wives or whatever like that, but keep them in separate beds at separate times. You understand? If you want to be with one, be with one. If you want to go to the next room, be with her. That's cool. But you got to understand there's a law of cleanliness as well. You're a man with multiple wives and stuff like that. It's not clean for you to be with one woman and do your business in her and then switch out and go into the other.
Right.
You understand? That's why we have the cleanliness laws where after sex, you're supposed to go wash your body.
Right.
You understand? Because why? Because now you're dirty physically and spiritually, of course. But if you're physically unclean and you have a herd fluids all over you, and you go put those fluids in the other woman, you're asking for diseases.
Right.
You understand? You're asking for problems.
Right.
That's another reason why threesomes and stuff like that is taboo, is because you're really just asking for some type of disease. You understand? So make sure you be with one wife. Cool, that's fine, that's dandy. After you guys finish your business, go wash off. Go take a quick shower or a rag and just clean off your business. And then you could go over to the other wife. But not at the same time. It's just not right. You understand? Next question. Many encourage that one wife. I'll answer this only because it's really quick. Isupk men are not encouraged to have more than one wife. It's just an option that's available to them. You understand? A man doesn't have to have any wives. A man can have one wife. A man can have 2, 3, 4, 5, however many he wants. But at the end of the day, however many wives he has, he needs to make sure he deals with them right and justly. You understand? Right. Of course, more wives, more children. You understand? I'm gonna live by that. More wives, more children. It's just a gang. Whoever wants wives, whoever wants kids, it's a free reign. As long as you stay in your nation, stay in the right spirit, and stay in righteousness, you straight. 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, doesn't matter. Of course, we encourage men to marry and women to marry, but we don't just throw the whole multiple wives aspect. We give it to them as an option because the Lord said it's an option to us.
Right.
You understand? I'm gonna warn everybody that wants multiple wives. Women are a job.
That's right.
Having one woman is a job. The more women you pick up, the more problems and more job you got to deal with. You understand? And then because there's no such thing as divorce, you're stuck with these women.
Right.
You understand? Unless fornication might be at hand or adultery. You understand? So that's your question, Andrew Rogers. Any more, just feel free to type them in.
Quick question about say I have I'll say Red that I'm dealing with now. I'm just coming into the truth. She's not in the truth.
Right.
And I have heard the captain speak upon this before. I just wanted to ask clarity because I heard this from across the line. So say I came in the truth. For now, she wants to be with me. But as I get deeper in the truth and commit myself to the work, say she doesn't want to be with me anymore. But she doesn't want to come in the truth, and then she decides, I don't want to be with you anymore. Is it lawful for me to let her go in a situation like that?
Okay. The question would be: Is are y'all married?
No, sir.
So
We've
y'all
been
have
boyfriend and girlfriend for a little while. I'm in the truth now, so I've been dealing with her for a while. But as I get further in the truth, we're starting to clash a little bit here and there. You know what I mean? So if it gets to a point where she doesn't want to take this journey with me, and also she stops feeling like she wants to be with me because of the path I'm taking, would it be lawful for me to put her aside, or do I just rough through it?
As long as the two have not had any type of sexual what's the word I'm looking for? Intercourse, thank you. Any type of sexual intercourse, then that's fine. That's the whole courting process. That's why in ISPK there's a 6 month period where brothers and sisters are off limits.
Right.
Then they get permission to court each other. You understand? And in this 6 month period, the court is just talking and maybe go on dates and stuff like that. Nothing further.
Right.
Right? Why? Because in that midst of they get to know each other, and if that's in that period of them getting to know each other, then they get to decide this is something I want or this is something I don't want.
Right.
You understand? The courting process, same thing as dating, but of course now in 2019 and so forth, dating means they're dating and screwing. You understand? That's what dating nowadays really means screwing. You understand? I'm dating this. I got this one bad sister. You understand? We've been talking for 2-3 weeks. Y'all been talking for 2-3 weeks, but y'all been screwing for the last week.
Right.
You understand? That y'all married then. But if y'all been just talking and stuff like that, and no intercourse has happened, meaning box to rod, no rod to box. No mouth to box and mouth to rod, then y'all straight. You understand? As long as y'all businesses were separated. But if y'all have done those types of things,
it's been
That's
more of a counsel.
Counsel.
That's more of a counsel.
No, I was going to ask the question. So if you were the woman and you get into the truth, and she decides she want to walk away, that's what could you do about that?
Say what?
What could you do about that if the woman decides she want to?
Of course. So let's say a sister. So let's go to the divorce scripture real quick. Or Matthew. No, not Matthew. Grab me the divorce scripture real quick. Bill of divorce. It's Matthew 5:31, please. Yeah, give me Matthew 5:31, 32. So the brother's question for anyone that don't hear it online, he wanted to hear it. So if your brother, let's say a brother is coming into the Isupk, meaning the truth, and the female that he's with, are they dating or married?
Married.
It would say, okay, so a man and a woman are married. The man comes into the Isupk and he's starting to come into the truth and the knowledge of himself or whatever like that. Is this woman permitted to leave if she does not want to deal with him being in the truth, right?
Okay.
No, she's not allowed to leave technically. You understand? So what you would want to do is you want to enforce and let her not enforce. You would want to let her know that what she is doing, if she leaves, she's a whore. You understand? And if she leaves and she gets with somebody else, she's not allowed to ever come back. You understand? Because why? She committed adultery. The reason, as of like now, she's not allowed to come back is why. Back in the day, if she left and committed adultery, she'd be dead already. Right. She's dead to you. Of course, right now, mercy and grace and all that are abound, but they're not always going to be abound.
Right.
It is there. So if a woman is with you and you marry her and she leaves and is with somebody else, she's became a whore and she's literally dead to you.
Right.
You understand? Because back in the day, she would have been put to death.
Right.
Majority of the times by your hand. you would be the one with the first stone.
Right.
You understand? So let's get into the whole divorce aspect right now. You got that scripture for me?
Matthew chapter 5, verse 31. It has been said, whosoever shall put away his wife,
Go ahead.
let him give her a writing of divorcement.
You understand? Of course, back in the day, you go to the Old Testament, I believe in Leviticus, there was a time period where if you and a man and a woman were married, and they did not want to be together anymore, that they could write a bill of divorce.
Right.
And that would void out their marriage. That was something that did happen back in the Old Testament in the times of Moses and so forth, right? But in the midst of that, there was what happened is Israel, because we're so smart in a lot of different ways, especially in wickedness, there was more of a loophole in that. You understand? Have you ever read like a contract that lawyers and you're suing someone and stuff like that, or being sued? There's loopholes in contracts because words, depending on the way you word something, it takes away the significance of it. You understand? So that's why scriptures say that words are not weak. Words have a lot of strength behind them. Why? Because a lie in itself can get you killed.
Right.
You understand? If a lie can kill you, so can a loophole.
Right.
There's a lot of strength behind the words at hand. So if a man and a woman back in the times were married and whatever like that, and they ended up fighting and squabbling and they wanted to separate, then they were able to give a right of divorce and here's your divorce papers. Our marriage is void, right?
Right.
But now, damn, something eyelash in my eyeball. But now, Christ is saying what? Read that.
It has been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement.
You understand? Christ is saying this is what it was. And it's like, because of course Christ knows. So he's saying it used to be this. If a man didn't want his wife no more, he'd give her a bill of divorcement, meaning she could be and go. She's free now.
Right.
They're not contracted together no more.
Right.
Right. So he's saying this is how it was. Go ahead.
But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife,
That's your what?
but I say to you, that whosoever shall put away his wife.
You understand? For any man that goes away and puts away his wife, meaning like y'all have committed the acts of sex or oral sex or whatever type of sex you like with each other, the man and woman, and you don't want her no more, and you be like, shalom, I'm done. Back. If you do that anymore, go ahead.
Okay, but I say unto you that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving of a cause of fornication.
Saving for a cause of fornication means a sex that's unlawful.
Right.
Meaning it's an unlawful thing to do this. I'm married to this woman. I want to be married to this woman too, but I don't want them both.
Right.
You understand? So what you do is like, all right, my first wife, I throw you away. I don't want you no more, and go be with her. That's fornication. Why? That's unlawful sex. Why? Because you threw one away to get the other, when it's more righteous just to have them both.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead.
Cause of her.
And fornication. There's a lot of different types of fornication. Fornication in itself is just unlawful sex, right? So this man could go have sex with another married woman. He could go have sex with a dog, or he could go have sex with another man. Those are all different types of fornications that he could have committed while throwing away this woman prior, right? Go ahead.
Cause of her to commit adultery. And whosoever shall marry her.
Wait, the first part, that last part again?
Cause of her to commit adultery.
Because once you throw this woman away, what, she's going to be single for the rest of her life? Because Christ, like, the whole point of the matter is Christ knows that marriage is eternal.
Right.
It's forever. So now, if you just throw her away, you say, I don't want her no more, that doesn't squash the fact that you two are married.
Right.
You understand? That's just you're trying to throw her away, but that's like trying to throw a yo-yo away from yourself. You can't throw a yo-yo and it's leave yourself.
Right.
You know why? Because it's around your finger. It's attached to you.
Right.
You sleep with a man. If you sleep with somebody, there is a invisible tether that's keeping you together. You understand? So trying to throw her away, a paddleball is better example. That's like you're trying to hit her away, and she's stuck to a rubber band, and she keeps coming back. That's how a marriage is supposed to be.
Right.
Right? That you can't throw the woman away, no matter how hard you try. Right? So, but if you do throw her away, and you snip that cord to that tether ball, she's gonna go off.
Right.
But what? She's gonna stay single for the rest of her life? Because
Right.
just because you can cut the cord doesn't cut the fact that y'all two had sex.
Right.
That y'all married. It doesn't cut that. Really what you're trying to cut is the marriage itself, but that's impossible unless the adultery actually happens.
Right.
So of course this woman's not going to be single for the rest of her life.
Right.
You really think that?
Nah.
Find me a woman that's really okay with being single for the rest of her entire life.
Right.
Of course, we only live up to 50 and 70 now. Imagine when we lived up to hundreds,
Right.
900 years. You're really telling me that there's sisters out there that are never going to have another man for 800 years?
Nah.
Bet. Find a woman that ain't gonna have no rod in 3 years.
Right.
That's hard enough.
Right.
You get there. So you can if you throw her away. What's gonna eventually happen to her?
Causes her to commit adultery.
She's gonna end up committing adultery. Because just because you threw her away and she goes to a different location doesn't squash that y'all married.
Right.
You understand? So she's gonna end up. I'm never gonna be with him again.
Right.
After a while, she's just gonna lose. She's gonna lose faith in y'all relationship that she had with you, and she's gonna end up finding somebody else to squash the need of being alone because she doesn't want to be alone no more. No woman wants to be alone. They might say it, they might put it on the front, but at the end of the day, they want somebody.
Right.
No one really wants to be alone. Nobody. You understand? That's just, of course, that's my opinion. But just knowing people as people are, you want to be alone for a period of time, but having someone there when you come home for food and dinner and talks and laughs and sex, it's in your nature, right? So this woman's going to end up finding another man. Once she finds another man and sleeps with this man, she just committed adultery.
Right.
And it's the man's fault for throwing her away
Right.
because he made her. He would not give her what she was owed. But keep going, is going to go into that.
And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committeth adultery.
You understand? And whoever married her, he committed adultery. And he doesn't even know it. Because why? She's going to be like, well, he threw me away. I'm single now.
Right.
Well, he's going to, okay, well, he said she was single, or she said she was single, so I thought it was okay. But technically, she's not.
Right.
You understand? That's why when we go to in the Isupk, what do we do when we go holler at a piece of tail? First question you ask her, are you married?
That's right.
Are you dealing with anybody?
Right.
You understand? How is you, when were you and your last man together? How did it end?
Right.
You got to get all these questions before you even try to pursue. Why? Because you could fall into this.
Right.
You understand? Of course, this only happens nowadays in 2019 because sex right now is just a way to relieve stress and it's just for pleasure. It has no significance in it anymore.
Right.
To the world, at least. There's no significance in sex. Sex is just sex.
Right.
You understand? I believe any more on that? I believe where's the due benevolence? I'm not spelled due benevolence. First Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1.
First Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1. Mm-hmm. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me,
Right.
it is good for a man not to touch a woman.
Woo! Is this saying that mentioned as be homosexuals?
Lie.
Is just saying mentioned is forever be single?
Lie.
No. What's it saying? Why would Paul say something like this? Why? It says it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Why would he say that? When of course we gotta be fruitful and multiply.
Right.
We gotta keep our race going, but that only comes from a man touching a woman, literally,
Right.
physically. Why would he say that?
I'm guessing. I'm figuring because, I mean, if you abstain from a woman, you could give your whole focus to the truth.
Exactly. You understand? Of course, it's good. It's a good thing. If a man doesn't have a wife, that's his entire time he can give to the Lord.
Right.
He can build schools, build nation, raise families, do all these types of things. Because he doesn't have a woman at home crying and pleading for him every day.
Every two
Right.
minutes. Every 2 minutes.
Let me stop. I'm trying not to get us suspended off YouTube. You understand?
Right.
It's good. It's a good thing. Of course, in its own manner of sense. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication,
To do what?
to avoid fornication.
Nevertheless, meaning but nevertheless, to avoid fornication, meaning to avoid unlawful sex.
Right.
Let every man have his own wife.
Let every man have his own wife, meaning you can't share women.
Right.
Yeah, this I know in 2019, I can keep saying that because it's the year now. And prior to that, it's cool now for two homies to keep screwing the same shit.
Right.
Yeah, people want to do run trains on women, and they want to have gang bangs and stuff like that. I can't fathom it. Never could fathom it, even when I was in the world. Of course, it sounded kind of cool, but then when you think about it deeper than that, it's like, I don't want to see this. I'm trying to. I can't get turned with him turned in front of me
Right.
to the woman that I want.
Right.
It's like jealousy factor sits in. Now you got to think, a man, if she's your woman, why would you ever want the woman that you're with to be with somebody else?
Right.
You would never,
Right.
ever. You wouldn't. No, some people. There's things you should not share. Sharing a woman is one of those things. That's gross. Why? Because for one, a woman stores all the DNA from every man she's ever been with inside her body.
God.
You can get a wife right now. You can get a woman right now, make her your wife, and have a child with her. That child could come out looking like a man she's been with 10 years ago.
Wow.
If you did not know that, you look it up.
That could be a problem.
That's going to be a problem. Why? Because in your mind, it'd be like, you heifer.
Right.
You're going to think that she was sleeping around. It's going to cause a lot of problems. That's why a woman's supposed to only have, one man her entire life.
That's heavy.
Unless, of course, her husband dies.
Right.
And stuff like that,
Right.
then she's allowed to remarry after death. That's why you go to, of course, I'm not saying that's why, but in the Christian church, the one thing they do say right during their marriage vows is what? Let death do its part.
Right.
But that never sticks.
Right.
That never sticks. Usually, fornication is what parts.
Right.
What parts them, right? That's why it says to avoid fornication, every man have his own wife.
Right.
Meaning, once a man and a woman sleep together, that's eternal. That's it. That woman should never touch another man, ever,
Gotcha.
unless that husband dies.
So like you, sir, and that in my mind, correct me if I'm wrong, that kind of also cuts into what the other question was about: is it lawful or not to have a threesome?
Mm-hmm.
There's scripture right here.
Having every man have
Let every man have his own wife, and
Of
to
course,
avoid fornication.
It would be yeah and no. I'll tell you why. Yeah, no, because it said every man have his own wife. Well, this man can have his own wife,
Right.
which is not wrong,
Right.
right? And no, as on the aspect of it depends on what type of threesome you're talking about. You can be talking about a threesome with a man and two women, and then you can be talking about a threesome with two men and one woman,
Right.
right?
Right.
So that's him. If two men and one woman, that'd be a man sharing his wife. It wouldn't be his own wife. Two women being with one man, that wouldn't be a man having one wife. It'd be a man having two wives, just doing wickedness with both.
Right.
That would be the no aspect. The yes aspect is saying that it should just be the man and the woman
Right.
that are in that bed together. You understand? That means that's just them, their own. Singular own, right? Their own marriage, their own relationship. You understand that whenever a man gets another wife, guess what? That first wife and that second wife, they're not married together. They're not to get tethered together.
Right.
You understand? That's just they're married. This wife is married to this man. That's one marriage over here on the right hand side. Then this wife and the same man are married on the left hand side. The women don't have to anything. They don't have to deal with each other.
Right.
They don't ever have to meet. They don't ever have to talk. None of that. All they got to do is just know that when he's gone, there's a good possibility he's with the other.
Right.
That's all it is. You understand? At the end of the day, they got to suck it up. Or they're going to commit adultery, like we read in the other scripture.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay.
And let every woman have her own
I
husband.
mean, every woman have her own husband. I mean, she doesn't ever go and get another man.
Right.
Now, Christian women that hear about this multiple wives scriptures, this will be the first scripture they pull. Let every woman have her own husband. Yes, he's your husband. So one of the own. He's yours. Yes.
Right.
Why? The word own is a what type of word?
Possessive.
It's a possessive. It's a possessive word.
Right.
I mean, you possess this man means he's yours, but it's going to elaborate on what it means by own. It doesn't mean singular
Right.
in this context. Go ahead.
Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence.
Do what?
Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence.
And meaning let the man give unto the wife due benevolence. What is due benevolence? You know what due benevolence is? Let's see if you can get it. Let's see as I can see his wheels turning.
Wheels turning, right. A due benevolence, or due, like saying her due respect.
No, you don't have to respect your wife.
Oh, shit.
You don't have to respect. You don't have to respect your woman. She has to earn respect. Is something earned, not given.
Right.
You don't gotta give respect. I'm like for example, Captain Marquaz is a captain with 13,000. He earned the respect.
Right.
He wasn't just given all that rank. He had to earn that rank.
That's right.
For respect, you gotta earn. You can't just give. You're gonna go around and say, "I respect everybody." You're gonna go respect the same man that just murdered your family.
Lie.
My point. Because why? He didn't earn your respect.
Right.
Respect is something earned, not given. You understand? So, what due benevolence? What could that be?
You gonna try it again?
Kind of.
He's looking it up.
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
Oh,
That's a wise man right there. He understands that. We got all these smartphones and all that. But it might not even give it to him. I've never Googled the word due benevolence. I don't think I have, at least, in the last 4 years I've been here.
Benevolence. The quality of being well-meaning and kindness.
Yeah, see, it's not going to give you what you want.
Goodness, kindness, kind-hearted, big kind-heartedness, goodness, goodwill.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Due benevolence. Due benevolence, around.
Due benevolence. That means no matter how much your wife is getting on your nerves, if she want that rod, you got to give it to her.
Kind of.
You understand? Due benevolence is you got to give what's owed.
Right.
You understand? Now the fact that you married this woman, you guys had sexual intercourse, I'm just gonna go into it. Go ahead.
And likewise also the wife unto the
You
husband.
understand? It's not only the man and the wife unto the husband, but it's the husband unto the wife as well.
Right.
It's a two-way street right now. Go ahead.
Verse 4. The wife has not power of her own body, but the husband.
But what?
But the husband.
So the wife has no power over her own body, but the husband, meaning what?
Oh, meaning if the husband wanted, she got to give it.
Exactly.
That's his body.
It's his property.
That's, right.
It is that what he owns is that behind, is that tail.
That's his box.
That's his box. You understand? He has claimed and he has forever written his stone and his legacy inside that box.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But the husband, and likewise also the husband, has not power of his own body, but the wife.
Meaning that the wife has power over his body.
Right.
That's what it's talking about. The own. That they right now they own each other's bodies.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
It's not talking about she owns him like he can't do this, he can't do that. They're just one and all that. No.
Right.
The own is meaning that whenever she wants your body, she gets it.
Right.
Whenever he wants your body, he gets it. You can't turn them down. Because that's what's the one thing you can get into an argument, you can get into a little fist fight with your woman, but at the end of the day, what's gonna relieve all that anxiety and that anger?
Sex.
That sex. You understand? You're always gonna fight, and you might separate for a period of time, for through anger. But at the end of the day, you're gonna come together again, and you're gonna be
Fall in love again.
exactly. It's just a brand new day. It's a brand new marriage. It feels like. You understand? That's why everyone always wants to say, of course, this is in the world. In the world, they say what? Angry sex is the best sex.
Right.
People say that. Makeup sex, all those types of things are so great. Why? Because it's like for I'm gonna say this is only for the Christians' sake, for Christians. Coming back together after all those arguments and those angry sex and what was the other one I said?
Makeup sex.
Makeup sex. It's like the same thing as like renewing vows.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Because you see during those two types of things, during sex, whatever like that, you see how much the other person cares about you.
It's like,
You understand? If it's like a 3-stroke, you done, then of course you might have to feel a little type of way. You understand? If you're a woman.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's like that's a passionate thing. A man and a woman being together in that type of environment, you understand, and it's like the connection is greater than it is just when y'all just cooling together.
Right.
Make sense? You want to say something?
no, I was gonna say it seemed like though. I mean, from the physical part of it, the longer two people are together, and you're having problems or dealing with the problems of life, that makeup sex thing go out the window, man.
I can understand that. There's only a certain amount of arguments.
Yeah.
You understand? So everyone has that certain line, like, okay, this is the 1,500th time in the last 3 years. You know, that B word is just hanging at the end of the tongue. But I don't. The whole makeup sex, that's foreign to me.
Yeah, me too.
It's like now, okay, only because I'm in the school. Only because I'm in the truth now. The whole makeup sex is like, you could be angry and I get it. It doesn't really matter no more. But at the end of the day, that's what it is.
Good.
I was gonna say something else on that, but let's. Where was I going? I threw myself off at the last minute. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know if you want me to keep going.
Yeah, hit 5.
Verse 5. Defraud ye not one the other.
Do what?
Defraud ye not one the other.
Meaning you can't turn them down. You understand? If they want the box, give them the box. If they want the rod, they can't get the rod.
Right.
You understand? That's the whole point of the matter. But there's something heavy in this. Of course, you can't as a man, you can't turn your wife down because she wants it. But if you're a man of the Lord and you are actually in the home of the truth, there are specific times you can say no. You understand? Of course, it sounds like I'm being a hypocrite, but there are things that there's times you can say no, and you'll see how I'm not a hypocrite in the midst of what I'm saying. Is that because when you do the work of the Lord, you can't be unclean. You understand? Let's say you can't go on the streets to camp and teach to the world being unclean.
Right.
What makes you unclean? Sex. And when you have sex, you're unclean until the sun goes down. So let's say a man and a woman on a Friday night, they have sex at 10 p.m.
Right.
That man and that woman are unclean until Saturday, until sun goes down. Sun, of course, depending on the winter, the summer, the fall, and the spring, sundown varies. Right now in Chicago, sundown's around 8 o'clock?
9:40 so.
Yeah.
No way, it's not that late. I wish it. Is it
Look
the real
what
time?
time. Look
I
outside
hope
right
it's
now.
not late.
What?
Sunset is what sunset in Chicago was at 7:49. 7:49 till 9 o'clock. I was about to make it home on time. Nah, but sundown right now in Chicago is at 7:50. Right? 7:50. So if me and my wife had intercourse last night at 7:50, I would not be allowed to come do the work of the Lord and teach this class until sundown.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
But since class starts at 7 o'clock, I wouldn't be able to teach class. Why? Because I would be unclean for the beginning of it. You understand? So I wouldn't be able to do that. So same thing with camp. Of course, if you go to the winter, sundown sometimes is about like 4:30.
Right.
Of course, you have a little bit of wiggle room. Because then, at least in the Isupk, classes don't start till 7 p.m. So if you have sex after class, you straight the next day.
Right.
Right? But camp, you scratch that out. You wouldn't be able to make it. So there are specific times, depending on the day. Let's say you got to make the class on this day. You got to go to camp that day. There's an event this day. Then the night prior to that, you can't go. You can't have sex. So that's just something you and your wife are going to have to overcome in total, right? Talk to her about it. Let her know that she's not more important than the Lord.
Right.
I'm a man of the Lord. I took an oath, yada, yada, yada. She's going to understand at the end of the day. She's going to be burning and waiting until you get home.
Right.
But at the end of the day, guess what she's going to do? Respect it. She's gonna respect it because why? Because if you go through the scriptures, what's the most powerful thing on earth besides on earth? Yeah, what's the most powerful thing on earth?
Besides a woman,
No, I'm in earth.
the word of
Besides the Lord.
Oh,
Let's go carnally.
Okay.
In the carnal sense, what's the most powerful thing on this earth?
The love of a woman.
The box.
The box.
The
Well,
box.
that's what I said.
The box. I don't need her attention. It's the box.
Yeah.
The box is what destroys many. The box has destroyed kings. You understand? The box destroyed King David. The box destroyed King Solomon. The box destroyed Adam. You understand? The box is what destroys empires. You understand? King Solomon lost the entire kingdom due to box. You understand? And it's true. It's laughable now,
right.
but it's true.
Yeah.
You understand? Liquor, it's a killer. You understand? Money, it's a killer. But the biggest killer at the end of the day is that woman and what's between her legs. You understand?
Proof of that, in modern day times, they say there are more brothers in jail over women than anything else.
Exactly. It's the power of the box. Box has its own gravitational pull, and sometimes you can't fight against gravity, apparently. It is that. But I'm going to fight gravity if I have to. It is that. But playtime aside, that's the whole point of the matter is if we don't, there's times where you can say no, but at the end of the day, if it's not one of those times, you're obligated. Meaning, you could be, let's say you have two wives, right? You're at one of the wives' house and you're just enjoying yourself, having a movie night or whatever like that, and the other wife hits you up, be like, you know what time it is? It is there. It's been the whole 24 hours. She's calling your name. It is there. What you got to do? Does that mean you got to get up immediately and go over to the other sister's house?
Nah, sir.
Do benevolence. What you got to do?
I was going to say, Kyle.
You got to get up and go. You got to get up and bounce.
She called for it. You got to go give it to her.
All right.
I was going to say, well, but you did say earlier, the first thing you got to do is get up and take a bath or wash up.
Of course, but let's say let's say you and the river just cooling.
Oh yeah, you got to go.
You got to go.
I was saying, like, if you're watching a movie with the one wife and the other one calls, then I said, finish watching the movie. But at some point during that night, you're gonna have to get up and go handle your business.
At the end of the day, you got to tell this woman, I'll be there in a little while.
Right.
You understand? Or you could tell the woman, I'll be, for example, you could say, it's more of like your most available convenience.
Right.
Right? Because if you're with one woman and y'all just cooling it, watching a movie, give me what's the percentage of the time you're gonna finish that movie? Are you really gonna finish that movie?
Most likely.
Most likely not. Okay, what's gonna happen after the movie, Ron?
It's gonna be
Exactly. So what if you have to if you get up in the midst of that movie to go over to this woman's house?
You're gonna start a fight.
You gotta be wise and wisdom and discretion gotta be at hand as well. You just gotta let the woman know, all right, I'll be there as soon as I can. Finish the night. All right, baby, we good. Everything taken care of. All right, no sweat. Wash up, bounce.
Right.
Of course, in her mind, she's gonna know exactly what you're doing. She's gonna know. You don't got to tell her,
Right.
but she's gonna know in her own assumptions at least. You understand? But that's just her demons. She's gotta fight. Feel me? So that's really what it is. But keep reading verse 5, please.
Defraud not one the other, except it be with consent.
With what?
With consent.
With what?
Consent.
With consent. You understand? Meaning, you gotta agree to having a period of no sex.
Right.
Let's say she calls you. She's like, I want sex. All right, baby. I'll be there in like let's say I'll be there in like 3-4 hours. I got a little bit more business to handle. That cool with you? She's like, yeah, you still coming through it though, right? Yeah, we good. All right, Shalom, love you. Over with. That's consent. You understand? Right. Of course, you don't need to ask her, but baby, I'm handling business. I could be there in like 3 hours, all right? Okay, baby, no problem. As long as she knows she's getting it, she's really satisfied.
Right.
You understand? That's because women are carnal, more carnal than men at least. No, let me reframe my mind. rephrase that. Women are more carnal than a man of the Lord. Let me say that. That's how I gotta say it.
Right.
Or I could be made a liar. But all right, go ahead.
For a time that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer.
You understand? So if there, let's say, for example, a man, y'all two having a fight, and it gets salty and all that, and the woman is like, she's like, I don't want to have sex with you no more for a period of time, right? Get out the house, or like that. Cool. You are like, all right, I'm no sweat. So y'all agree. So you'll be like, okay, well, we'll separate from each other for a week.
Right.
No sex, no talking, this, none of that. If it's an emergency, then you can contact me. Because, of course, emergencies, you really can't let pride and stuff get in the way of those.
Right.
Right? So you'll be like, all right, cool. For a week, we'll separate from each other. That's consent. Because then y'all can pray on your own times, fast from the sex itself. Because a lot of relationships, sex is what holds marriages. Sex is what holds the marriage together. They can hate each other, low key in the spirit. They'll hate each other, but them having sex is what's really key because they're getting their physical needs satisfied.
Right.
The man, all that pent up aggression he gets from getting told what to do by his boss and doing this, new and that, he lets that go. All them cravings and all that the woman's got from all what she's going up through gets satisfied, so it's easier to tolerate. Really, sex keeps marriages alive. It really does. That's why there's a scripture in place. You understand? Because if you don't give this woman her due benevolence, that's why the scripture in verse 3 it said, so what I think verse 3.
Let the husband render unto the wife.
No, sorry. There was 2. To avoid fornication.
Right.
You understand? To avoid the fornication, you got to give him the due benevolence, because if you don't give that woman what she wants, she's going to find someone that can.
Right.
That's the point. You understand? Of course they make toys and stuff nowadays, but every woman knows that has a toy. It's not the same.
Right.
They can have all these vibrators and all these different types of Google gadgets, like their Inspector Gadget and all that. That's cool, but they know damn well that they don't do the job like an actual man can.
That's right.
So in the end of the day, they're gonna get rid of their Black Mamba and all these different types of names that they have, and they're gonna go get themselves an actual human being that can give them kisses and affection.
Right.
Because toys don't give affection; they just give pleasure.
Right.
Women want affection, not only pleasure. They can pleasure themselves,
Right.
but they can't give themselves affection. You understand? This is wisdom. Go ahead. Let's finish 5 if it's not.
And come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinencies.
I feel like I'm a special ed kid every time I try to read. Inconsistency.
Right.
Inconsistency.
Right.
Yeah. That. You understand? Meaning what? I mean that y'all come together again after the period of time where y'all decided to be separate. Because if you go over the time, Satan's gonna test you.
Right.
You understand? Let's say she wants to end the separation, but you want to be like, nah, let's add 3 more days. Then you're at odds. And through not having sex consistently, she's gonna find someone that can give it consistently. So it's to avoid that, y'all got to come together again in that aspect. From the point. So I believe that's it on that. And the whole divorce. I don't see any more questions on the timeline. Any questions here about what we spoke of or anything else? We got about 20 minutes, 25 minutes roughly. Gotta end a little early today. Any other questions, young man? Are you straight on that?
Good on that, sir.
Okay, dokie.
I'm actually saving that one in my notes.
All right. Oh, okay. That's what I was going to say. So when you go back to with the bill of divorce, let's go to Leviticus real quick, where the bill of divorce was actually prominent and it was available. All right. I'm going to let y'all know why Christ came back and did away with it. Let's go. Actually, it's in Deuteronomy 24:1. Right. I'm gonna show why and explain why the Lord decided to change it so there's no more of this writing the bill of divorcement. It's really simple and it makes a lot of sense. But of course, not seeing it, I'm gonna show you the loophole that they found. How about that? If you could read that.
Leviticus chapter 24, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee.
Sorry, I said Deuteronomy. Did I say Leviticus?
No, Deuteronomy.
You said
Okay.
Deuteronomy?
I was like,
my bad. Dang.
for sure thought I said that. I'm looking at both my phone and my Bible. I'm like, wait,
21.
24.
24. Slack it, sir.
It is what it is. You understand?
Slack it. Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 1. When a man has taken a wife.
What?
When a man has taken a wife.
When a man has taken a wife, meaning he found who he wanted to be with, and they laid down and consummated the marriage. You understand? That's another thing. The whole marriage in America is an utter game. It's literally a game and a business for the white man. It's really because you got to pay for the marriage certificate. You got to pay for that $100 ring, and the other $100 ring. I mean, $100. I'm lowballing it. It's like a $10,000 kit.
Right.
You understand? You got to buy these fat diamond rings and all that for each other. You got to buy the wedding ceremony and the swan ice sculpture and all that. It's just extra. It's all too much. The ceremony itself, that's fine. It's cool. But going to the courts and getting all this paperwork, that's not what a marriage is. You shouldn't have to go through all that to marry.
Right.
You understand? It's extra. That's really just a way the money management making for the white man. Right.
Slack it, sir. And to show you that the white man is the devil that the Bible speak of, after you with a woman for, I don't know, they say 5 or 10 years, now she's your common law wife. Well, legally, she have these different rights and stuff, but she can go to the court system and put them on you if she's not satisfied.
6 to 7 years.
So, something like that.
I can't wait until it's gone. I can't wait until they're gone. I'm not saying I'm not saying I can't wait until they slave. I'm just literally saying I can't wait until they're gone. Because by the time they gone, the kingdom of Machiavelli will already be established. You understand? It will be forever running under my name and my son's names and so forth until it's back in my own hands. But I can't wait until they're gone. But the whole marriage in America, you got to understand. Of course, majority of it's just a business. But what the paperwork and the rings that you wear don't make the marriage. This really is. It shows inside the white man's marriage system, but people don't notice it because they're too busy worrying about the ceremony itself.
Right.
After the ceremony, what do the couple do? What is it called?
They go, as you said, consummate the marriage. They go have a honeymoon and have sex.
Exactly. Consummate means what?
Making it official.
Make official.
Right.
You understand? A marriage is not official until the man and woman have sex.
Oh my God.
You understand?
Yeah.
I can go get some paperwork and get rings and have a wedding ceremony and not touch that woman for 2 years, and she won't be my wife for that 2 years, according to the Lord. You understand? Of course, in the white man's, I filled out all the paperwork and all that,
Right.
but the marriage was not finalized. You understand? That's like you got your driver's license but never gave them the payment. They gave you the paperwork. They gave you the paper. They gave you the license itself, but you never actually paid for it to make it official. You understand?
Okay.
That's really what it is. You paid for the rings, the paperwork, the ceremonies, and all that, plane tickets for your family and all that. You had the ceremony, you had the cake, you kept the cake, you sung together and danced and had all that extra shit. And the father-daughter dance, all that extra stuff that they have in weddings. Right. But guess what? Y'all didn't go and have sex after that. Y'all not married. Y'all not married. Of course, as if you never slept with that woman prior to all the ceremony and stuff like that. So if y'all never touched each other, it was all formal, and y'all never touched each other after the ceremony, y'all not married. Y'all just really just put yourself into a bad situation.
Right.
You understand? Of course, no one's gonna really do that,
Nah.
but it's possible.
Saki, sir, actually, you just explained something that happened. My cousin, years and years ago, he passed away now, but when he was younger, out of high school, he married his high school best friend. It was a Edomite chick.
Right.
And had, like you said, the big lavish wedding ceremony. All the families came together and friends at this big wedding, big honeymoon planned out. But her parents popped up in the hotel room afterwards, so they never got a chance to on the honeymoon. And then like she turned into a bridezilla, as they would say. So he kind of like stepped back from her. So they got divorced couple months later. Okay, and when they got divorced, that was the pretense of what the divorce was granted under, that they never consummated the marriage. And the judge was like, he didn't contest it. She said the marriage was never consummated. He said, yeah, we never consummated. And the judge dropped that gavel and their marriage was dissolved.
It was never official.
It was never official.
That's the point. You understand? Sex is what makes a marriage. Even really in the white man's society, technically, but people don't know that.
Right.
And in the Lord's eyes.
Right.
You understand? You could be like you hear all the time the stories of a man and a woman getting married. They go through the whole ceremony and everything, and they have the ceremony, but guess what? The bride runs away with the groom, with one of the bridesmaids.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
It happens all the time. That marriage was never official.
Right.
She went and married your homeboy.
Right.
Of course, that doesn't happen in the truth, but it happens in the world. It happens in other Israelite groups. Let me stop. I'm gonna jump into that.
I done heard stuff like that happening for real though. Same day, a girl go mess around with his best friend.
Yeah, on the day of the wedding, after the ceremony. They go run away and it's all this. She just realizes the love she had for his best friend. Like, Heifer, you knew you loved him. You knew you wanted his rod, not the man you with. Why? Because he had money. Because he treated you well. Stuff like this. Even you wanted to extort him. Now you married, at least with the paperwork wise. And if you divorce, you could get the judge that don't give a damn.
Right.
And now you lose half your assets to the woman you even never got.
Right.
You understand? That's how wicked the society is. Yeah, it happens. That's the sad thing is this is America, where everything wicked you could dream of happens. You little bitch. Can I get another cup, please? Yeah, I'm gonna drown you in my own song. Yeah, this little man just trooped right through it all.
That's why I kept putting this paper on.
That's why it was empty. That's why I didn't care. But at the end of the day, that's really in the white man society. The consummation is what makes everything official. If you could, you understand? So now you have the Deuteronomy 24. You read it while he's handling business.
Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 1.
Yeah.
When a man hath taken a wife and married her.
And what?
And married her.
And married her, meaning they had full-blown round-the-box sex. Go ahead.
And it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes.
Meaning that after a while, he don't really deal with her no more. Like, he realizes, man, this B. You know, I don't want to get this blocked.
Right.
For school class purposes, I'm not gonna go full blown regalia on y'all.
Keep it professional.
Keep it professional. I don't want to, but I will. He realizes that this woman is just a monster.
Right.
Like you said, a bridezilla.
Right.
She put on the front of what she could be and all that. But really, a woman changes after she gets ride. You know, I know it's a sad thing to even say it, but she puts on the front how great she is and stuff like that. That's why, because she never got a taste of your manlyhood.
Mm-hmm.
After she gets a taste of your manlyhood, in her mind she's thinking, "What? Oh, I don't want to share this.
Right.
I never want no one else to touch this. If he ever thinks about it, I'm gonna cut it off." That's what they think in their mind, because that's women.
Right.
You gotta know your opposing sex. Right. This is how they are. This the Lord made him that way, so it is what it is. This is to keep us on our toes. That's all it is.
Okay.
Right? It makes us stronger at the end of the day. You know? Whatever doesn't kill me makes it stronger. Whatever don't cut off my rod makes it stronger. That's what it is. Yeah, so go ahead.
Because he had found some uncleanness in her.
I mean, he found something that he just it made him repelled. It was so disgusting. It kind of just threw him off. He's like, nah. It was repulsive, right? Mm-hmm. Uncleanliness meaning something unclean that you just like pork. That's unclean to us. Ugh, I never touched it. Shrimp, crab, pork, nah. Ugh. He saw something in her that he did not like.
Right.
But the point of the matter is that's why you're supposed to court them or date them for this period of time. That's why we have our 6-month rule.
That's right.
Really, in the school, the odds are if you are with a woman or you are attracted to a woman and y'all are allowed to start courting, your majority of the time you're going to be courting for about at least 9 to 12 months.
Right.
Majority of the time. You understand? Not for just because the school wants to keep you from marrying. It's because the school wants to make sure you pick is who you want.
Right.
Of course, flesh says, oh, she's bad. Mm-hmm. She got this, she got that. She can do this for me, do that for me. Mm-hmm. But can she make you happy? Right. Money doesn't make a man happy. It makes you happy for a period of time. Right. Is that what she can do for you makes you happy for a period of time. But remember, you got to go home to this woman. Right. You got to go back to her every day. Yeah. Is this someone that you could be under the same roof with at least weeks at a time? Right. Of course, if you have multiple wives, you don't be there every day. But is this someone that you can spend a week with at a time? Right. You got to be wise with picking women. Right. It's not no game because once you pick them, you're stuck with them. Right. Right. Unless you want to go sin, which is a death penalty sentence when it comes to marriage. Mm-hmm. I'll survive living with a wicked woman. Right. It is that at least the Lord give me the strength to. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to sacrifice myself just to be the possibility of actually the Lord overlooking it because He's not really going to overlook it. Mm-hmm. But keep going.
Then let him write her a bill of divorcement.
But if he finds no favor in her eyes no more, meaning he don't want to look at her, he don't want to be around her because she's just a full blown monster. Right. Back in the day, we were allowed to be like, no. It's the same thing as swiping left on Tinder. Nope. Or swiping right. Right. You say you be like, all right, never mind. You write the letter. Put it in. You're done with it, right? It's over with. Simple. There was a flaw in that. You understand? Mm-hmm. Hold up. Yeah, there's a flaw in that. Either you two know what the flaw might be? The loophole.
The whole if he found some uncleanness about her.
I'm not gonna say that's a loophole. No, because I'm sorry. If the majority of the time, every woman is going to do something that the man just hates. It is what it is. She might have a mouth and talk back every now and then. Mm-hmm. She might not want to cook every now and then. Every woman's gonna find a way to irritate you. Right. It is what it is. You understand? Being a weaker vessel and all that, it is what it is. I wouldn't say that's the loophole, no. What could the loophole be?
The no favor in his eyes. If she lost favor in his eyes.
I mean, yeah, she did something that he just don't like. Yeah. But what's the loophole? In itself. It's part of it. You're partially right. He's got to bring it home.
Oh, if she loses favor in his eyes, he can just be like, I don't want to be with you no more. Write a divorce and get rid of her.
Exactly. That's the loophole. You understand? Meaning what? You can go have a one-night stand.
What kind? Right.
It's true. You can go find. Oh man, she's a bad mamma jamma. You go and talk to her, get her gamed up, all that. Y'all want to go back to the crib and y'all just bump monkeys or bump uglies, and then in the morning you be like, this woman gave it up too quick. Divorced. Now you're single again.
Right. Wow.
It's Israel.
Yeah.
You gotta understand, Israel is a finesse.
Kinda what-
We granted everything, especially wickedness, which is a sad thing. So that's the whole point. There was a loophole. All you gotta do is, all right, well, bump uglies, write a note. Bump uglies, write a letter.
She's
Bump
snoring in
uglies,
her
write a
sleep.
letter.
Next.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what it is. You could just, all right, well, she lost favor because her ring toe is bigger than her big toe. You understand? It is what Israel has. I know brothers are big foot men, so I understand. That could be something, but back in the day, of course, right now, we'll never do that. But it's because they lost favor in a sense.
Right.
So it was a loophole. Meaning they could just do what? Sleep with whoever they want and get rid of them the next day. So the Lord saw that. And then as well, because back in the day we had to do what? Every time we sinned, for example. Sacrifice a goat. Or, sacrifice an animal. Israel found another loophole in that. So they would be like, okay, well, so I got to sacrifice a goat every time I sin. So meaning I can sin this many times if I sacrifice this many goats.
Right.
So they would it happened. Israel used to bring 4 or 5 goats up to the altar, kill them, be like, all right, I can sin 4 times.
Dang. I never thought about that.
Yeah, that's what Israel used to do.
Right.
That's why Christ had to come back and die himself. You understand? To do away with it all. Now you got one sacrifice.
Yeah.
So now you can't do it. Once you figure out it's wrong, you can't do it no more. Now you're responsible for your sins.
Right.
You understand? Let's actually grab that scripture and find it. Sin willingly, I believe it says.
I never would have thought about that.
Keep coming to class.
Right.
Where was it?
I'm saying if I was alive back then, I'd have been cheating myself.
Yeah, I gotta find that
Or
scripture.
them dead. You got stoned to death.
Yeah, no, I'd have been like, why y'all got so many goats? What you taking them to the temple for? Like, you'll figure it out one day. No, I wouldn't have.
Right, that's crazy.
I agree with what was said yesterday. You see one stone and I don't think you're going to want to get stoned.
Yeah, I seen one. I pulled up one, and it didn't look so damn.
Yeah.
Nice sized boulders. Got damn near 100 million. Got you in the middle of a circle, and if whoever you sinned against, they throw the first stone, and then you hear all these damn stones, man.
Everybody rain them down.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a horrible death. That's a horrible death.
Really did.
I watched one video where they over there in Pakistan or somewhere, man. They cut this thing. I think they call it American Soldier or something.
Got me Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26.
Hebrews 10 to 26.
Yeah.
Come on, sir.
Yeah, you got it.
Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26.
We'll get it right with you. I can't get an experience with this paperback book. I can't keep using my coordinates.
I love this book.
Because I never know. I might have to read for somebody one day too.
I love the paper. I misread.
That's another wise thing, young man. If you become a trooper, you're gonna have to go up on that podium. You're gonna have to sift through this Bible like it's your phone.
No,
So you might want to start using a paperback. We would say, grab us Obadiah. There's one page of Obadiah, one little baby page. You know how hard that little baby page is to find on a paperback?
If you know it, be exactly where it's at.
Yeah, that page is hard to find.
God.
It's not easy. Zephaniah, Zechariah,
Right.
Amos. Some of those chapters are hard to find because they only have 2-3 pages worth. So you might want to get a paperback and memorize what's after what, what's after this.
I'm ordering my 1611 this week.
You gotta get used to sifting through those pages. Of course,
With the apocrypha.
Yeah, kind of.
you spoke with the old English one.
Yeah, the one Captain DeBar.
Got
How much do it cost?
Like 17.
Yeah,
something
it ain't
like
done.
that.
But remember, it runs in the Bible that the bar got. It runs in Roman numerals.
Okay.
You better get read through Roman numerals.
Yeah.
You know how they have like the 3 lines. It runs in those with the V's and the X's and the L's.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'd get this $10 Bible at Family Dollar because this is what we use at camp.
Okay.
You know, the $10 one at Family Dollar. Of course, it doesn't have an apocrypha. That's why you gotta buy one separately. $7 online.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So you'd be sifted through that. So you gotta be sifted through it, because then you can go, if you don't know where Obadiah is or can't find it, because it's one piece of paper.
Right, go to the index.
Go to the index.
Right.
So, okay, page 1,000. Literally, Obadiah is literally page 1,000. So you just go to page 1,000. You straight. So you want to be accustomed to it, because you don't want to be sifted through it. And the brother's like, grab me this, and he'll be speaking for another 5 minutes. You got that, Ike? Blah, sir. All right. You got it? Blah, sir.
Right.
It takes away the power. Takes away the man speaking, waiting on the trooper finding scripture. So I would advise you getting one of these $10 ones from Family Dollar, so you can start practicing and sifting through them. Of course, the 1611 is the best one to have, but it's in Roman numerals, and actually it's in the King's Latin as well. It's in like it will say labor. It will say labor is what LABOR.
Yeah.
If you go find the word labor in the Roman that one, it'll be LABOUR.
Okay.
So the words will be spelled differently, so it's harder to read.
Right.
So that's why we won't use that at camp, because for one, the Roman numerals, that's so hard to read.
Right.
And try to find Psalms 139 in Roman numerals. It's not as easy as it seems.
Right.
You understand? So
Okay.
you got to study them, get your Roman numerals up, but that's why we use this one at camp, because it's the most sold one from where we can find. Right.
What kind?
So it's $10. Really, literally $10.
Family Dollar?
Family Dollar.
I got one up the street from it.
All right, you got that?
Concept. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26. For if we sin willfully,
For what? Yep.
after that we have received the knowledge of the truth.
You understand? If we sin willfully, meaning we understand that putting away a wife is a sin.
Right.
We understand having threesomes is a sin. We understand that turning your wife down from sex or your husband down from sex is a sin. If they don't have work of the Lord to do,
Right.
is a sin. We understand that eating shrimp, crab, pork, lobster, and shaving and lying and all that is a sin. But we do it anyway after knowing it's a sin. That's why it's saying after receiving the knowledge of the truth. So once you know it's a sin, you're accountable. So meaning that's like, back in the world, you had no idea it was a sin to smoke weed. You thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. How could smoking weed be wrong if it's a plant? How could smoking weed be wrong if it cures my stress or whatever other types of things it's supposed to cure? How could that be wrong? How could it be wrong for me to decide what type of beard I want? I can't have a chin strap? So you tell me I can't shave my beard into a chin strap? Who are you to tell me that?
Right.
It doesn't seem wrong, right? But once you learn the truth that it's wrong and you do it anyway, go ahead.
There remaineth no more sacrifice for sins.
There's no more sacrifices for sin. Meaning that you can't, back in the day, you can't go over here and sacrifice animals. And that's why Christ died, so you can't keep sacrificing animals anymore.
Right.
His one sacrifice is all it took. If you're ignorant is a different story. But once you know, like if you walk by camp and you hear it's a sin to eat pork, and we show you in the Bible, and you were just standing there in front of the camp, and you go home and eat pork, you're accountable for that now.
I know what God.
After you were shown it was a sin, and you keep doing it, you're accountable for every time you do it. I mean, you will be punished sooner or later for it.
Right.
You know, and just because punishment doesn't come expediently doesn't mean it's not coming at all.
Right.
That's in the scriptures. This is a perfect scripture that they go hand in hand with each other. Because you know it's a sin and you do it. That's for example, I knew it was a sin to smoke, right? Before, when I first heard it from Captain Nabar, of course he wasn't a captain at the time. He was a trooper when I met him. He was there back all the way in the West Coast.
Right.
He told me it was a sin. He showed me it was a sin and all that. Of course, in videos because he couldn't teach at the time. I didn't give a damn. So guess what? I got right home and kept smoking. You'd be a fool to think I did not get punished for that. You understand? I might didn't get shot or stabbed or something like that, but I could have lost a job. I'm not gonna tell you what happened.
Right.
So on the airways at least. I could have lost a job. I could have lost my apartment. I could have lost my car. I could have lost anything. You understand? Family member. I could have lost anything, and that would have been the punishment.
Wow.
Right? and that's for one time. Let's say you're addicted to you find out that smoking weed's a sin, then you find out that shaving's a sin, and you do both. That's 2 different punishments you have acquired. And you let them count up. That's why you haven't understood that the Lord is a very spiritual man. What do we say at camp when we talk about people's sins? That the Lord has your what? What do we say? People say it all the time. I got your what? Number. Why? You don't actually have a number. But guess who does? The Most High has your number. He's not talking about yourself. I'm not talking about yourself.
Right.
Yeah, I'm talking about the number of things that you deserve to get punished for.
Right.
Time up.
Your time. You understand? That's the point. The Lord's got your time. And the Lord can half your time. Have a stroke. Having a stroke depletes your lifespan. Having cancer depletes your lifespan. AIDS, lifespan. The Lord's got you getting shot. You gotta understand the Lord does not play. We're spiritual people. We talk about, oh man, we got your number. Why? Because the Lord has your number tallied on of course, maybe not on a piece of paper. Right. But he's got it there and whatever type of sense he has for archives. And it's there. Oh, this man was punished? Oh, this man did what? Oh, he did what? When is his grace period over? August 5th? Oh, okay. Let's wait. Tell me when he does something wrong after August 5th. August 5th passed by. Oh, he did what? On August 18th? Oh, he threw away his wife? He slept with a man? Oh, give him AIDS. Destroy his number by half. You thought you had 30 years to live, you had 15.
Right.
Oh, he just murdered somebody over his husband? Or his man he's sleeping with? Oh, take 3/4 away.
Right.
You got 3.5 years left. The Lord got your number, and don't think he ain't quick to slice it in half. It is there. The scriptures say the Lord laughs at your calamity. He laughs at your cries and your pleas to him when you in sin. He cries. He laughs. Literally, he laughs at your face. He mocks you. Oh, Lord help me, Lord help me. He's literally up there like, oh, Lord help me, Lord help me. He's up there doing that shit. It's in the scriptures. The same way you mock your wife when she says something stupid.
Right.
He mocks you every time you cry and plead for help after you sin. That's the whole point. The Lord is a man of war, and the Lord he's a comedian at the same time. Right. The Lord has a sense of humor. Right. He does. If you do, he does. You understand? Right. So the whole point of the matter is, once you understand it's a sin, once you hear it's a sin, it's time to stop. Or you're really just playing with your own life. You're not playing, you think you're a killer? The Lord's a greater killer. You think you got bodies? The Lord's got a billion times more bodies than you do. Realize the Lord killed everyone on the earth quick besides 8 people. Right. You can't amount to as many bodies as the Lord's got in that one instance. You understand? The Lord has sent bears to eat children. The Lord has sent hurricanes to devour families. You understand? That's the point of the matter. You can't play with the Lord because the Lord can take you out the game in a car crash. A stray bullet that had the name for somebody else, but the Lord engraved your name on that bullet. Right. You know how many times, let's say 4th of July. What do people do on the 4th of July?
They shoot in the air.
They shoot in the air. Do people understand that gravity works?
Right.
Your bullet will not leave the solar system. It's not going to go hang out with the stars and whatnot. Right. That bullet's going to come down and smack something in the face. Right. I think if you look it up, last time I looked it up was a couple of years back, but the number of stray bullets that people catch, it was like 400 or so. Stray bullets. Just only stray bullets. Mm-hmm. Talking about 4th of July, Thanksgiving, all the types of bullets people want to go yeehaw and shoot in the air, those come back down. Mm-hmm. People can shoot up in the air and the bullet come down and kill the same one that shot it. It's an air, wind. Everyone knows if you watch shooting like videos or shows about guns, everything's about trajectory and the wind and all that. I'm watching a show right now called Shooter. Yeah. If you're a sniper, what do you got to do? You got to take in the air, the weight of the bullet. You got to take in the curves. You got to how the bullet's shaped, the wind, the gravity, all that. You got to take in all those factors because it all could just 1 millimeter of a fraction wrong, and somebody else is gonna catch that bullet.
Right.
You gotta be safe when it comes to that. You understand?
Okay.
And the Lord knows you play with something that's lethal, someone will die.
Right.
That's why what? When you have a gun, when you hand it to somebody else, you hand it to them loaded? No. Ever.
Right.
That's why you gotta clear the bullet, clear the gun. All right, well, clip's out. All right, it's empty. You gotta do it. Put your finger in real quick. Check it before you hand it to somebody else, because what? People ain't as disciplined as everybody else.
Right.
Right.
Is that during my class for my concealed carry license and whatnot, the instructor accidentally shot off a bullet in class
Wow.
because he was dealing with an old gun.
Right.
3 people cleared it, but there was still a bullet in it. 3 different people cleared it, and it still shot off and hit the wall.
Damn.
You understand, Lord, man? If I was literally, Lord, let that bullet hit me in that middle of that class, I would be rich. You understand?
As long as it's not fatal.
Lord really don't kill me off that straight bullet. But if I died off that straight bullet, guess what? I deserve to die.
Man, fuck that.
Right.
But that, if you could, young man, grab that white binder.
Okay.
The white one right there on top. The water. Shit went some overboard. All right. Read these. Go ahead.
I do 1 minute.
No. Yeah. If you could turn that facing him. Turn the camera. Just face it to
We are the Isupk security announcements. We are the Isupk. We are the Isupk. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits. For 6 months, they are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother and a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or the sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and the sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and the sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment. Numbers 18, 21, Malachi 3, 8, and 10 means tenth in the Hebrew. Maya Shara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to Treasury Department or teacher. Priest funds. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. Memorial of blowing of the trumpets. September the 8th, which is Saturday. Oh, 28th. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Akim and Akawan to. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headbands, scarves. With that, I'll say Amadium, which means to stand. Apakudam means to face the east. The Lord's Prayer.
Go ahead.
The Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanel. Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Hayah.
Hayah.